everybody, and welcome back to another Kraken Packs video. I'm your host, Mr. Bevers. Today we've got another box of Ixalan. It is box number 5 out of my case. Hopefully you've seen box 1, 2, 3, and 4. They may not all be up in order. Box 3 I opened as a battle with another YouTuber, TCG Value Hunter. Check out his channel if you have it. We're going to get right into this. And I think the first box I opened was on a live stream, so you'll have to, you know, check that out. I think it was one of my live streams that I opened it up on. All right, let's get cracking. Alright, Wanted Scoundrels, Raptor Hatchling, Sky Terror, and our first rare is Deadeye Tracker with a foil cancel. Not so bad, not so bad. Hey, Mountain, stay over there. Stay on your side of the mat. Cancel, I mean packaging, I mean whatever. Raider's Wake, Belligerent Brontodon, Imperial Aerosaur, and Conqueror's Galleon. Let's move all of this stuff like so. There we go. Okay. Okay, you guys, can you stop? Oh, God. You're ruining my time on this video. Things. Cooperate. Nothing ever cooperates. Ever. Drowned Catacombs is our first rare. It's store. Use the store, Bob. Not there you go. Sorry, someone in Twitch chat was just trying to get to my shop. Vicious Conquistador, Belligerent Brontodon, Bellowing Aegisaur, and Kinjali's Sunwing. So what do you guys think of this set so far? What are you liking? What are you not liking? I've heard a lot of mixed things. I enjoyed what I was drafting when the set first came out, when people didn't really know what they were doing. It seems like now that people have had a chance to play with it, it seems like the common strategy for drafting is just go heavy on the like 2 and 3 drops and just like hammer out a super aggressive curve of 2s and 3s, and then just always be playing things. It seems like that's how things are going with the drafting right now. Kopala, Warden of Waves. How much does a box cost? It's well, for me it's roughly $130 Canadian, which would put it somewhere around the like $100 mark in US dollars, somewhere in there. Carnage Tyrant, boom, we got there. We found him. First mythic, best mythic. Still, at least at the moment. Although, I'll be honest with you, I think Carnage Tyrant will go down, and I think that the highest mythic at this moment in time will end up being Vraska. Ixalan's Binding, Herald of Secret Streams. And the reason I say that is because Vraska is just super sweet. Like, her abilities are just awesome. And she's seeing a lot of play right now in Standard. And that does a lot of things, you know, to the value of cards. Wily Goblin, Vineshaper Mystic, Drover of the Mighty, Waker of the Wilds. This card is super broken in Limited. If someone plays this against you in Limited, you need to remove it off the table as soon as possible. And by that I mean literally the turn after they play it. If you can. And it's funny, every time I've had someone play it against me, I have just removed it immediately because I know how bad it is. Because the first time someone played it against me and I didn't remove it, I lost that game very badly. Regisaur Alpha, also an interesting card for Limited. It's an aggressive dino, but it's not necessarily a very good one. Sheltering Light, Savage Stomp, very good card for the dino deck. Fiery Cannonade, also a very good card. Priest of the Wakening Sun, and we got a foil Fathom Fleet. So Regisaur Alpha is okay. Mainly because he gives all your dinos haste, but he's only a 4/4, and he doesn't have trample, and he doesn't have haste himself. So it's kind of like this weird thing. It's like other dinosaurs have haste. He makes a 3/3 when he comes in. So you're getting 7 power for 5 mana, which is not a bad trade. But at the same time... Siren Storm Tamer. This is one of the high-priced uncommons at the moment. Heartless Pillage. Shapers of Nature. This card is just amazing and limited. And Sorcerer's Spyglass, which is a couple bucks right now, I believe. Basically like a Pithing Needle. Similar to a Pithing Needle. Only you get to look at their hand before picking what card you want. The only problem being is that you have to pick a card... Oh, no, you don't. It says look at opponent's hand, then choose any card name. So you can choose any card name, which is kind of good, because it's basically like Pithing Needle then, except that it costs 1 more mana. Imperial Aerosaur, we got another Siren Storm Tamer there, and we got an Agrul's Bloodfast. Little flip card there. Alright. Only 1 Mythic so far. Now, the average Mythics I've heard are a little bit down, and someone linked an article to me. I think it was Kairu on YouTube linked an article to me from well, I mean, it was an article, and then it was a tweet from Mark Rosewater, who said that because of the flip cards, the ratio of Mythics to Rares was actually lower now. Okay, Walker, Stormfleet, Shaper of Nature, Burning Sun's Avatar. That good old guy right there. We didn't even talk about the Emperor's Vanguard. I was too busy ranting about other things, but we did open a Emperor's Vanguard there. To answer your question, HPG, the way the flip cards work is that once a thing happens, once whatever happens, the trigger, basically, the card will flip and it becomes a different card, essentially. Call of the Feast, Revel in the Riches. Gonna get you. Gonna get you. That revels in the riches. Agrul's Bloodfast, for instance. Let's talk about this, okay? This is a flip card. So it says, you know, you pay 2 life, draw a card, and pay 2 mana, right? Pay 2 mana, pay 2 life, draw a card. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have 5 or less life, which is not really ideal, if you're 5 or less life at the beginning of your upkeep, things might be bad for you. You can flip it. You may flip it. And it flips into this, which is adds a black mana. You can tap it, sack a creature. You gain life equal to the sacked creature's toughness. So they all do different things. Right now, I think the high value one is the Search for Azcanta, which is quite high. Perilous Voyage, Lightning Strike, both very good in limited. Seeker Squire, also a very good card for limited. Shaper's Sanctuary, I've played with it a couple times in limited. It's an interesting card. It sort of like puts your opponents on this plan of like, they're like, I don't know if I really want to remove my opponent's creatures. So it puts them on this very like weird sort of scenario of not necessarily wanting to cast their tricks and removal spells. Because they don't want to give you cards. Ruthless Knave, Dusk Legion Dreadnought, Charging Monstersaur. This card is very good as well. Oh, okay, so our foil was first, which means that our rare is a flip card, because for whatever reason, they decided that if there's a flip card rare and you get a foil, the foil comes first. Whatever. It must have been because the flip cards were on like a different sheet, like a different cut. So they got inserted after the foils into the pack. So I don't know. I don't know how they did it, but they obviously made the conscious decision. So Stormfleet Arsonist. So there you go. Search for Azcanta. That's the high value rare flip land right now. And the reason is because it's seeing a lot of play in Standard at the moment. It's also going to see play in Modern. That's for sure. Just because it's only 2 mana enchantment that lets you basically fix your draws. Arcane Adaptation, another interesting little card, lets you change all of your creatures in your deck basically to creature type of your choice. It's kind of interesting. I haven't played with it yet, but it doesn't mean that I won't. I might try it at some point and see how it goes. And Fathom Fleet Captain. This is a very good card in limited, mainly because it's a 2-mana, 2/1 Menace guy. And basically, Menace is very hard to deal with that early in the game. So chances are he's going to get in for a bunch of damage early on. And if he doesn't, you're swinging and you're making another 2/2 with Menace, most likely. So, Captivating Crew. Also, this card is just bonkers in limited. His ability, like, if you play this and your opponent doesn't remove it, you basically just win the game, because for 4 mana every turn you can just steal one of their creatures. It's active treason on a stick, basically, and it's just really bad. I had an opponent who played it against me the other day, and he had 8 mana on the table, so he played it and then took a guy, and then the next turn took 2 of my guys, and I was like, I can't even... You're swinging me with my own army, and I can't block them because you're taking all of my army. Unclaimed Territory, it's like a $3 land right now. Sunbird's Invocation. That card's really cool in limited as well. So, Sunbird's Invocation is basically like an ability that used to exist back in like the, I think it was the Alara block, or the Shards of Alara block, which is Cascade. And so it's like whenever you cast a spell with Cascade, when you cast it, it says, you know, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a card with converted mana cost X or less, and then cast that card for free. Like, that's what Cascade did. The Sunbird's Invocation is similar to that, where it's like, except that you only reveal the top X cards, where X is the number, the converted mana cost of the card you cast. And then you can play a card from among those with cost X or less without paying its mana cost. So... it's really good in limited. Hey, our second Mythic, a Star of Extinction. I think that's like my 5th copy of that card. I'd like to have 5 copies of Vraska or Carnage Tyrant, but instead I have 5 copies of Star of Extinction, one of them being foil. Steadfast Armasaur, Bright Reprisal, Seeker Squire, Entrancing Melody, another very good card. In limited. Basically, 2 blue mana, pay X, steal your opponent's thing that's bothering you. Right? It could be their biggest creature that you don't want to deal with, or that you can't deal with, or it could be something that they just have that's good that you want. Deeproot Champion. Ooh, we got a foil mountain. Nice. Nice little foil mountain. Deeproot Champion is an interesting card. I've gotten people with it. It's an interesting card, because when you play a trick, it pumps itself. It gets a +1/+1 counter whenever you play a non-creature spell. So essentially, it gets bigger when you play a trick. Okay, our foil rare. So this is interesting. Our foil rare is a foil mythic. It's foil Rowdy Crew, so we got a foil mythic. That's sweet. But it's in front of the rare, which means our rare is a flipped card. So that's kind of hilarious that they put the foil mythic in front of the rare, the regular rare, which is hilarious to me. But foil mythic, can't really complain about that. And it's a Growing Rights, which is the other one that a lot of people are talking about, because it's essentially like a Gaia's Cradle, only better in the fact that it actually makes a green when it's a land, instead of making nothing if you have no creatures. However, you have to get it there, which is the thing. But if you're playing a Gaia's Cradle deck, you're going to most likely have creatures anyway, lots of creatures. So, I mean, Growing Rights is not necessarily bad. Walk the Plank is a very good removal spell. Goring Ceratops is, like, not a card. I got somebody with it, I think, during the first week that the game was released on MTGO, because we didn't know what we were doing, right? Thundering Spineback is just a bonkers card for the Dino deck. But again, it's 7 mana, right? And with the way things are going right now with like sort of the meta of the game, people are being too aggro-y. So you'll probably never get to 7 mana, or if you do get to 7 mana, you won't have a chance to actually like utilize the guy's ability. Like, you'll play him and you'll have to use him to like chump block, or he'll die, or something along those lines. Verdant Rebirth, Rallying Roar, another Unclaimed Territory, very good. Oh man, so far 4 mythics in this box. We got a Watley, or a Watley, or however you want to pronounce their name. I think it's Watley. I believe that's what everyone corrected me to as last time. That's 4 mythics in this box. Technically one's a foil, but that's 4 mythics. It's not bad. And Repeating Barrage, this card is just broken and limited as well. If you open this in your draft or your sealed pool, you need to play it. It's a return Lightning Bolt. I mean, yeah, it costs 3, but it does 3 damage to target creature or player. Sorcery speed, so not Lightning Bolt. It's more like, crap, what's that other one that came out? There was one in Theros block that was Keranos' Bolt or something like that. It was 2 red and a 1, and it was 3 damage for 3 mana. Sorcery speed. It's better than that because if you pay 5 after attacking with something, you can return it to your hand. So, I mean, like, who doesn't want that? Old Growth Dryads, another rare that's, like, not seeing play in any sense whatsoever. This box has been very good to us so far. 4 Mythics, a foil Mythic. That also means that I got 2 foil Mythics out of this case, which is pretty good. Sanctum Seeker, also another very good card for Limited. Foil Ixalan's Diviner, also a solid card in Limited. Diviner is very good for your green decks because it's a nice 2-drop that rounds out your draws. Helps you get rid of stuff off the top of your library that you might not want, or helps you get a land into your hand when you need it. Sunpetal Grove, that's our second dual land. I was like, is that our first dual land? No, we got the Drowned Catacombs as well. Okay. All right. We're almost done here. We're almost at the end. We didn't keep it under 15 minutes though, so I'm kind of disappointed by that, but we're almost there. I got talking too much. That's my problem. Blood Craze. Wow, a second foil rare. Holy moly. Okay. So we opened a Blood Craze Paladin and a foil Deadeye Tracker. This box was very good. This was a very good box. Holy moly. Field of Ruin, Thundering Spineback, Marauding Looter, Treasure Map, very good as well in Limited. Nice, like, who doesn't like scrying, right? You like scrying, and then not only that, but once you scry 3 times with that card, you get 3 treasures, which then let you draw additional cards. So, can't really complain about that. Verdant Sun's Avatar. I've seen that card get people, but not in the best way. Like, it's like you're, like, super down on life, and you're about to die, and then you're like, turn 7, you drop a Verdant Sun and gain 5 life, and then your opponent's like, ah, crap, he's stabilizing. And you're like, yep, sure am. Fell Flagship, and we did get a foil, Ixalan's Binding. Man, we opened a lot of foils in this box. We opened 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 foils. 10 foils in 36 packs. That's almost unheard of. Jeebus. Holy moly. So we ended up... Okay, so our Mythic count was about average. From what I'm hearing, the average is 3 to 4 per box. We got 3. We got a foil Mythic, which technically doesn't count toward the Mythic count. So we did get 4, but really only 3. From a standpoint of the averages. We got 2 foil rares, which is way above average. You normally only get to get 1 foil rare, let alone a foil rare and a foil Mythic. We got 10 foils. That's way above average. I would expect normally you're going to get somewhere between 7 and 8 at most. So getting 10 is just like way above curve. We hit the Search for Azcanta, the Growing Rights. We hit 2 dual lands. We hit the Carnage Tyrant. We hit a Planeswalker. We hit a foil Mythic, Rowdy Crew. Rowdy Crew's not like particularly valuable per se, but like hitting a second foil Mythic in one case of cards is pretty insane. Normally you're only going to get 1, right? So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I've been your host, Mr. Bevers. Don't forget to check out my store, nerdvanastore.ca, as well as my Patreon, where you can get discounts to the store, and also things like grab bags or bundles or booster boxes, what have you. Check it out. There's some pretty decent, cool stuff you can get there. Also, if you haven't checked out my Patreon videos, you can check those out to get an idea of what the grab bags consist of, as well as this kind of other bonus stuff I give away to my patrons who stick with me over the months. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, may your pulls ever be better.